Okay, we're back live. Technology is not my best friend. Press record. It's recording now. All grand. I'm Ryan Chafee Wardner. I use a moniker of Mr Lyan because my name's very long and complicated. I have two bars in London. One is called Lyaness, which is in Sea Containers London on the South Bank. So that to me is, I've always loved that because it's kind of one of the iconic views of London. If you ask me, whenever I bring friends from out of town to see the city, being on the Thames and kind of looking across the water it's a picture postcard. And then I have a little bar in East London. Originally it was our first bar. It was a bar called White Lion over in Hoxton. And we kind of evolved that into what's now kind of a cocktail restaurant, and that's called Cub. I was chatting with the team, and I had said that I really wanted to see Bjork play live. And in an incredible turn of fate, she came in that evening, and she kind of sat at the bar, and she was very charming and very enigmatic in the way that she is. She was actually playing Heads Up karaoke with some of her friends, which again added to the surrealness of it. But it was really great, and it was a really nice interaction. There was the oddity of that, and then actually a week later, her PA called up and said that she really loved the bar, and she asked if she could DJ at the bar. And so she actually DJ'd our first birthday party, which was bonkers. Walk you out into some different parts of the house. I think my mum was a florist for a little bit of time, but I was also a biologist, and so I've always been very intrigued by different plants and different ways at which we can kind of source flavor from. So I have a variety of different kind of plants around the house. I think from my biology days, I also learned the fact that you can change some of the flavors of them by stressing your plants out. So we have kind of some of my lemon trees, kind of fig tree, a little other citrus point, but they also take a little bit, not a beating, but they definitely have to kind of work a little bit harder to kind of survive around the house. And then out into the garden, and same kind of thing. So our composter that I nearly walked into. So the garden is very much the kind of next project at the moment, but being able to have things that I suppose can kind of form part of work as well. So we've got a ton of different kind of herbs and plants on the go here. One of the things that I've always been keen to do is the fact that you can grow a lot on a windowsill. So getting any light that you can. You might have to work harder for some plants, but I've been managed to grow. It's not like it's the warmest city in the world, though it's pretty toasty out today. I've been able to grow kind of citrus fruits and figs, and some birds really having a go at each other up on the side. So I've been reaching for things like a spritz, both in a kind of non-alcoholic sense and in a non-alcoholic sense. So something that feels kind of a little bit lighter. I still have that kind of pang for a martini that I can go and enjoy in one of London's amazing bars, and being able to just kind of knock one of those up for myself and a flatmate is something that I still really love to do. So I wanted to do a cocktail that really celebrated London. And London's very unique as a city because it's one of the kind of words that crops up in every bar around the world, and that's London Dry Gin. So it's a simple drink, and I wanted it to be something that could be kind of like replicated around the world. We're using a cardamom pod. So we're just gonna gently add that to the bottom and just give it a crush. It's a very aromatic herb. On top of that, we're going to layer in some fruit notes. So classically to Britain, we're going to use some blackcurrant. We're also going to add some honey. I'm using a London honey, just to be able to bring a different golden sweetness. And then for the alcoholic version, I'm going to use a cassis. So just a blackcurrant liqueur. To this, we're going to add a little bit of lemon juice. And then for a non-alcoholic version, we're going to use a non-alcoholic spirit. You could use a tea base if you didn't have this to hand, but this gives a lovely kind of botanical lead in the same way that the gin does in the cocktail. And I'm going to use a couple of drops of anise. For the non-alcoholic version, we're going to use some fresh mint just to give that green note in the background. And then we're going to shake these up with some ice. So, give it a good shake with ice. And we're going to serve these in some chilled wine glasses. For our garnish on our alcoholic one, I've got a boozy cherry that was actually picked from my sister's tree, so it's a sour cherry that's been brandied. A lovely blush colour that comes from the blackcurrant. Boozeless version, we use some cucumber tonic just to give a nice little nod to one of those classic British flavours, and then a London beer for our alcoholic version. So really simple to do, a really lovely celebration of the city and all of the flavours that feel really synonymous with the celebrations and the diversity that's really inherent within London. So we have our Nightingale cocktail and our Nurse Nightingale. Cheers. You travel around the world and you still see how incredible that our museums are, our galleries are, and the fact that, of course, if you can support them, you do when you visit, but, if you're a young student, you can go visit these incredible places, these massive institutions that have incredible collections, and you can do it for free. Everybody talks about the fact that London as a city is like a collection of villages, and you dot around and you get very different approaches every time you go somewhere new. And it is true, and it is one of the things that's so wonderful to do is, as a Londoner, is be able to explore these different things and see that wherever you go, there is an incredible a local culture to that part of the city. There's its own kind of celebration of food and drink. There's incredible different bits of its nightlife or its music or its culture. And so that's the thing that I'm very proud of, and it's part of the reason why I'm such an advocate for the city, not just from the point of view from food and drink, but also just from a wider cultural perspective. Everybody gets it a little bit when they're coming home. They get that pang of, excitement about being on familiar turf. But I think with London, to me, it's not the familiarity of it that's exciting to me. It's the opposite. It's the fact that it's so dynamic, and unlike anywhere else in the world for it. But nowhere has the same kind of bridging points in both a historical and a modern sense than London. I think my heart's in East London. That's where I first kind of came to in the city. I was in Old Street back in kind of 2002, when it was a very different landscape. It was really incredible to me to be able to see this incredible buzz, and it was, I suppose, the kind of the confluence of all of these creative industries married with the history of the city, and all of the different vibrant cultures from around the world. It was just this melting pot of things, and that to me is continued to be a real inspiration for me.